Okay, we are going live. We are live, or hope we are live. Yes, we are live. It says, the computer says we're live. Yay! I could not wait anymore. I know it's 18:59, but I really wanted to get started. So, hi everyone, welcome back. I in the last few weeks I haven't done a live stream. I've only had videos that I played, that I filmed before. But now we're back to our usual live stream schedule. So, welcome. How is everybody? How are you all doing? I'm hoping everything is okay. And I'm just going to I'm gonna ask somebody to tell me, oh, hi Johan, if you can hear me. If you can hear me, then everything is okay, and then I'm super happy. And then we can start. So I have a bunch of brushes. By the way, this is my, I call it my big set, although I have many big sets. This is my Schminke Daniel Smith kind of combination set. And I did a read. Actually did many reads while I was gone. I was doing a lot of drawing while I was at the hotel, being in Denmark. So I was in Denmark for almost 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks I was in Denmark for work. So I couldn't actually live stream. The internet was really bad at the hotel. But I did manage to do a lot of drawing. So kind of this is me. And you know, I was making some funny reads. I don't know. I introduced some elements because I wanted to make it a little bit more Halloweeny in a way. You see here I have some spider webs and I have a moth here, and just, you know, autumn is here. Let's put it this way. So hi. Let's get started. The title of this video says, when in doubt, read it out. which kind of says to you a lot, because you know, when you don't know what composition to do, when you don't know what to pick up, it's always a good idea to start with a circular reed and just do your flowers like that. That will be the easiest composition for you or for anybody to make. And this is what I've been doing, you know. I didn't want to make any complicated. I will try to take another brush, maybe smaller or no, bigger. I am taking my Escoda Versatil brush for this. By the way, I'm starting with green here, but then I'm gonna continue with yellow because I wanted to make it more autumn, and the flowers behind is gonna be with reds and stuff. So I'm gonna try some new gumboge here. Yeah, I'm gonna combine this. It's gonna be a combination leaf. Yeah, that's good. I mean, let's see, do I have to add some brown? Maybe I need to add some browns just for the sake of it. Okay, that looks okay. That looks kind of autumny in a way. Well, okay, welcome to everybody that's online, by the way. Okay, so what was I saying? I was saying that this is the easier thing, because what I'm basically doing always is I'm starting with a circle, and then I make clusters of flowers. So I make a cluster here, a cluster on the other side, and then I just fill in, and then the rest I'm just filling it without flowers, right? So it's the easiest, let's say, design that you can make, so that you don't have to complicate things. So I found this cool Instagram hashtag that says, when in doubt, read it out, as in make a read out of it, right? So, you know, this is what we're doing. When in doubt, read it out. My brushes start to disintegrate. I've also decided to this time to use my my older palette. I usually use the Tundra palettes, and the Schminke is super granulating, but this one I just wanted to have the ability to have many more flowers and many more things. And when you go over the line, You just have to go with a wet brush and just absorb it. And then whenever it doesn't work, you can always go with a tissue paper like I'm doing here and just stamp it out. Okay, while it's wet you can lift the color out. So you know, that's how I do it. Okay. Remember, there's gonna be, okay, this is also leaf, so I'm gonna make it the same. So what am I using? I'm using undersea green and new gamboge. Undersea green is a really dark olive green, I will call it, and new gamboge is a really nice yellow, right? And then the combination of the two is really nice. Now I'm gonna make some fun. I am hoping you guys can see what I'm doing here. I am trying to be very careful and to paint only the leaf here, but I constantly go over the line. You can see that I lost my edge. Oh no, I've lost my edge. How can that be? How can that be? I haven't painted in a while. You can see that I should have done some sort of exercises to get me back into it, but I haven't done that in a while, and now I forgot how to watercolor. So people say watercolor every day. I don't think you should watercolor every day, because that is so unrealistic. And if you are like me and you have lots of, let's say, a job and all that stuff, it's going to be very hard to watercolor every day. But you do have to practice from time to time. So don't do like me and not practice for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because you will forget how to go around the objects like me. Now, I haven't had such a long time without actually painting in a long time, and I wasn't expecting that. I forgot about it. However, yeah, when you go to a different country, it's not like I can bring all my supplies there. I could only bring my let's say my notebook, my Etch-a-Sketchbook, and my couple of Arches papers. And I brought all my Micron pens, or a couple of Micron pens. That's all I brought with me. And then I was just doing line artwork, and I got pretty better at that. But I'm noticing that my watercolor skills have gone a little bit rusty. It's okay. We're always going to make some mistakes in the beginning, and then we're gonna go and we're going to bring in this one. By the way, if you're wondering what paper am I using, this is Arches watercolor paper, and the fun part about it is that it comes in 20 by 20 sheets. Well, it's an actual block, and I really like this format. Instead of the normal long format like A4 format, I really like this one. It's perfect for watercolor wreaths like this, right? So it's really nice. Again, I think I need to go back to the basics and get a smaller brush. For some reason, okay, should I take a number 1 or a number 2 brush? I think I'll try a number 2 brush. For some reason, I am really bad at watercoloring right now. That one. If you're wondering why I'm doing the leaves right now, because I need to get into my into the watercolor mood. And flowers, when you haven't watercolored in a very long time, flowers can be very tricky to do. So I want to make sure that I don't mess up the flowers. So I'll just mess up the leaves, because leaves I can kind of fix later on, you know. But flowers, they're gonna be very hard to fix. So if I do my warm-up exercises, basically, directly on paper, directly with these ones, then everything will be fine. Then by the time I reach the flowers, you know, I'll have honed my skills again. Okay, I'm notice that I'm doing this. I want to do one leaf. This is gonna be with reds and maybe dark purple, right? Reds and dark purple, reds and dark purple. So I'm doing all the other ones on a different color, as in with the green and the yellow. So I'm gonna do green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow. So this is how we're doing. So I want to tell you about my time in Copenhagen. So it was my first time going in Copenhagen. Never been there. And to my surprise, it looked pretty similar to the Netherlands. I live in the Netherlands currently, so it was pretty similar in terms of some of the architecture, but not all. As in, a lot of people lived in blocks of flats. That's what my notice was. And in the Netherlands, if you come, is majority of the people live in houses with a garden, including in Amsterdam or whatever. So, you know, in that respect, I haven't seen that many houses. Maybe they are on the outskirts where I never go. What I liked was that, people were running and doing exercises like crazy. I have not seen a country where basically everybody's running. I was trying to run in the morning, which is very funny because I was running in the morning and I was huffing and puffing and all that stuff. I was like, run, run, run. And I was being passed by these old ladies that are maybe in their 80s or 90s. I just couldn't believe it. Yeah. So everybody's super buff. Everybody's like super healthy. There's only one thing that bothered me. All those people that were healthy and all those people that were running, and there were equal amounts of people that were just smoking. So smoking was everywhere. I don't know why it's so big in Denmark, smoking, but everything was smelling like somebody has smoked their cigarettes for like years and years and years and years. Even in the office, and if you will go into a taxi or anything, yeah, that part of the culture I didn't understand. Everybody was going outside for a smoke at the office. I don't understand why the smoking culture is still so big in there. Like I'm not used to that anymore. In here, you barely see anybody in the Netherlands smoking or doing anything. So, you know, that was something that, let's say, surprised me about it. The weather was unexpectedly quite nice. It rained a couple of days, but yeah. The fun part was that in my first day, I decided to walk around and to visit almost everything. So in my first day, I walked around 28 kilometers, which is a lot because I also hurt my legs because I walk so much. So I like to go on foot on a new city and just, visit everything just to get, a feel of the city, a feel of the shops, a feel of the whatever they have there. The food was okay, a little bit more, let's say, sour than what I'm expected. The sweets were nice. I mean, the Danish pastries, wow, those were really, really nice. I think I ate some of my breakfast was only Danish pastries, which now I'm regretting because I probably put on like 5 kilos extras just by eating Danish pastries. So, usually I will buy some Danish pastries and a latte in the morning, and that would be my breakfast. So that was really nice. But yeah, now I'm thinking, maybe I should have held out a little bit longer, because having Danish pastries for 10 days in a row, although it was really nice and tasty, it cannot be good for my health. So now I'm on a diet, back on a diet. What else did I see? Oh yeah, I saw the Little Mermaid. So let me tell you the story about the Little Mermaid, because that is such a funny stuff. I was walking on the shore there by the port or the marina, and that's where the statue is. The statue is in the water, and I was walking there, and I did not notice it. I just passed it, and I was like, I didn't notice it because it's really tiny. You don't notice it. But then after I passed it, there's two buses that came, and they stopped, and there's like a bunch of tourists, like 20-30 people come up, bunch of tourists, and they all go there to the shore, start taking pictures. And I was like, okay, what are these guys doing here? Why are they taking so many pictures? Like, what's up with it? And then I came also. I was like, I'm missing something. Probably I missed something in my walking. I didn't know. And it turned out to be the Little Mermaid statue, which is very famous. It's very famous in Denmark, because, well, Hans Christian Andersen, Danish author, he wrote the Little Mermaid. As a statue itself, it's really tiny, really nice. Not very, let's say, art impressive, but it's impressive that it stayed there for so long, and then everybody comes to see it. I guess in a more conservative area, having a statue of a mermaid can be quite a problem, right? So this is the story of how I saw the Little Mermaid, and if it wasn't for the tourists there, I would have just missed it, honestly. When I was walking towards my work, because I was walking every day towards my work, I was walking past it. But, when you walk at 7 o'clock in the morning, you don't really see anybody, as in there's nobody there. So that's when you can get the good pictures and the nice pictures of the statue, when there's no tourists around. And I think that is, the tourists make it maybe a little bit more weird, and you cannot really get a good picture. I did have good pictures of random flowers there in Denmark, because the flora or the flowers are slightly different than what we have here. And there are some flowers I never saw, really nice colored, and considering that it's almost autumn there, they started to bring in the autumn colors. So I made really nice pictures, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna draw them and I'm gonna do that. This is kind of how I get my inspiration. I get my inspiration out of the places that I visit and the flowers that I see in real time. For example, these anemones, we have a field of anemones that I always go to, which is right next to where I live, next to a hospital. And it's a small garden that is made for the hospital people, the people in the hospital to sit. But you can also go in. And the whole summer they have only anemones, okay? So this is kind of like, how I get this shape, and I get to see the flowers from different sizes, and then I see anemones. They are paired with these like little daisies, also different colors, and these are some nice little things that you get out of nature. It's not like I draw out of my own head, I would say, right? So yeah, that's fun. Let's think. I think I want alizarin crimson for the red ones, with some Perlin Violet. Let's see if that... And you might wonder, what? Red leaves? Yes, there are red leaves. I saw... one of the things that I did while I was in Denmark, I actually went to Sweden in the weekend, because turns out Copenhagen is very close by to Sweden. You just have to take a train and then you're there. So I visited Malmo and Lund, which is another Swedish city. Really nice. All in one day I could visit them, so I could say that I have, you know, more countries under my belt after this than normal. And in there I saw a house and I made a picture. Really nice. There was this house and it was completely covered in leaves, and the leaves were this red violet color. Really beautiful, really beautiful. So this is where I take my inspiration from, right? Okay. So how was otherwise? Foods are okay. The only thing I have to complain about is the weird sandwiches they have, because they have these sandwiches with meat in them, but also with all sorts of pastes and stuff. It just tastes weird. I did not get used to it. So sometimes I couldn't eat anything other than maybe a banana or stuff, because the taste of those sandwiches were a bit weird. I did find in the end, like halfway through, I found a sandwich shop which was doing really good sandwiches, the way kind of I'm used to. And then you could say what to put in and what not to put in. So then I said, okay, don't put this kind of crazy stuff in. And then I could eat. So that's when I started going kind of exclusively to the shop to eat my lunches out. It happens sometimes, you know. You have to, I guess when you live there, you get to know what you like and what you don't like. You get to know what are the shops you should go. But that takes time. Like when you go there just for work, for a 2-week kind of stint, it's very hard to know these kind of things in advance and to, you know, make any good choices, let's just say this way. I went on my travels to the palace where, for example, the queen lives, and I mean Denmark has a queen and a king and all of that stuff. They're really nice, and it was protected by these guys, you know, kind of like you would get in England, like the palace guards that go and they walk funny and, you know, all of that stuff. Yeah, it was fun to see. They dress similarly to what they have in England, but just a little bit funnier. Why I say funnier is that they have these very long pants, you know, like Bee Gees style on the side, on the down part is like Bee Gees style of pants. And they just look ridiculous a little bit, but I'm sure they do a very good job of protecting the palace and doing their guard duty and so on. But sometimes it's a bit weird. What else did I see? I saw some funny colors for houses, so I took some pictures of houses because I always wanted to get into this urban sketching kind of trend. So now I have some proper houses, and I have some really nice colors that I will go, like really muted colors. I will try to reproduce with watercolor, really muted blues and greens and yellows. I mean, not like the bright variety because I will look weird, but they have really muted ones. Yeah, so that was about it about my visit, and that is why I was away from all of you for such a long time. I'm hoping you enjoyed the videos that I posted in the meantime. Those were filmed, and I really didn't have I didn't want them to be with a voiceover or anything. I just put on music so you can enjoy some painting and so on. Okay, Wow, these leaves are really standing out, I must say, but I'm really loving it. I'm really loving it. Okay, so the best combination, alizarin crimson and Perlin Violet. Both Daniel Smith colors, both awesome colors, I would say. Alizarin crimson has become one of my all-time favorite colors in the whole wide world. I don't know why I like this. It's like a burgundy red kind of color. I don't know why I like it so much, but yeah. This is a really nice color to have. And the good news is that because I work so much as in doing line art during my work vacation, sort of say, that means I have a lot for the next live streams. I have multiple wreaths. I think I have 5 or 6 of them. And many more. So we're just gonna do those. It's gonna be fun. And I'm actually considering whether or not I should do more often a live stream, because I really do wanna draw. And if I'm still drawing, I'm thinking, why wouldn't I do it during a live stream and talk to you guys? By the way, feel free to ask me anything, Johan and Marlena. I know you are there. Feel free to ask me questions, or you can type it out. I'll read them. If you have any questions about Denmark or anything. By the way, the funny part was I had the address of an art shop in Denmark and I wanted to go. But I didn't. Why? Because I knew that I would spend all my money there. I was like, okay, if I go there, I'm probably gonna want to buy everything I see. And I don't think I was prepared for that. I was like, okay, I have a lot of things. I have already a lot of products. But my initial thing was, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna see what they have and I'm gonna buy all the cool stuff. And then I was in front of the shop, literally in front of the shop, and I just decided back then, I was like, I'm not gonna go in. I am not going in, because if I go in, I'm gonna go out with a backpack full of stuff. And then I was also thinking, how am I going to bring it back to the Netherlands? Because, you know, you only get one bag with you. I was like, it's gonna be, I cannot get out of an art shop without buying a lot of things. I don't know about you, but this is my thing. I always have this. So, yeah. This is where self-restraint prevailed. And I'm happy for it. Because I was like, no. But I was there. I walked till there. I was in front of the shop. I saw all the goodies and I was like, no. I don't know if the second time I will be able to do it. I don't know if I will be able to hold out so long. We'll see. I'm loving this combination. I'm loving the red leaves, to be honest. I'm noticing that this leaf actually extends here, so I should have done it with the green, but I'll do it at the end. Okay. And these ones will be bright green, but with some reds and some stuff, you know? Or I'll think about it. Or maybe gray. Gray will be nice also. Okay. I have 2 more leaves there. So I'm trying really hard not to touch any of the parts. You see, watercolor is a thing of patience. So you have to be patient and you have to not go too fast, because if you go too fast, then you go over the lines or colors mix into each other, and it's never a good idea. You have to be patient, you have to take your time, and then good things happen for those who take their time. Okay, now let's talk about autumn in general, autumn in general has really beautiful colors, and the differences can be felt from one day to the other. It's so weird that I, you know, wake up every day, I look outside my window. I have lots of trees outside my window, and I look, and every day the color changes. As in, it's not like you have to wait weeks for a change to happen. It actually happens pretty fast, and it's pretty amazing. Okay. What happens is I had hairs from my kitty cat, and I don't want to drag hairs. This is the problem with kitty cats. They're really nice. They are the most awesome companions. But when you're an artist, you find hair from kitty cats everywhere. In your paints, in your paint brushes. Even if you keep them closed, there's no escaping the hairs. There's hairs on your paper. There's hairs on your desk. There's hairs, kitty cat hairs everywhere. But, you know, even with all of that, I still like my cats and I still love them. My Hup, I don't know where he went. He was sitting here right next to me until, like, let's say half an hour ago, and then he decided that he didn't want to sit there anymore. He does that sometimes. And he probably went to fall asleep somewhere. Okay, I'll do the last one there. So, really trying. So when you're drawing, I'm noticing how I'm putting, to have control, you have to put your entire arm down. So you have to put it on the paper, because otherwise you don't have control. So this is what I'm doing. I'm always trying to make sure that my arm sits comfortably on the paper, and this way I have control over the brush, over that small area, and I can go around anything. If you don't brace your arm, you will find that it's very difficult, and then your arm just goes and everything goes all around. So be mindful of where your arm rests and what you're doing with your arm. Okay, I think I finished these ones. That one was supposed to be finished also. Let's have like this. And some yellow. Okay, and now let's think about, very careful about the other leaves. So there are several opportunities here. So we can do with some blues and grays. That will make it stand out, right? Some blues and grays. I mean, we're doing a Halloweeny kind of drawing here, so why not blues and grays? Let me think of what type of gray do I want. Let's try this one. Paints gray blue. So it's a blue gray. And I'm drawing the paper out like this. So if this is blue gray, the other one is gonna be more yellowish gray. My friends are messaging me. We have a chat where we share pictures of our cats and their crazy adventures. Maybe I should have a separate channel, only Adventures of Hup, the Hup Master in action. So all of my friends have cats, and they cannot be more different personalities than, like, you cannot even imagine how different their personalities are. But they're all invading their parents' space, you know, all of them. And they're all like, no, this is my chair, not your chair. This is my stuff, not your stuff. You know, they're very proprietary in what they have, which is very funny. And my friend, one of my friends has a cat that is completely black, which I love. His name is Pepper. And he likes to sleep on the couch. The only problem is the couch is also black, so he blends in completely. He blends in completely. Okay. The contrast is really nice. It's really nice with the blue leaves, I think. I need to think really well what the other leaves should be. Okay. This is what you need to make in any drawing. You need to make a shock statement, let's put it this way, right? You need to be like, not a shock, but more like a contrast statement. Like how do you contrast them, and how are they gonna be playing on each other. So I'm gonna do transparent orange for the other one, just because I feel like it needs still a little bit more orange. I'm just trying to make them more autumn like. There are not that many leaves that I made like this, kind of rounded ones, but I still think that they break the monotony of having the same leaves over and over again. And doing this like that. Okay, yeah. I have one more there. I'm gonna do this transparent orange. You notice that transparent orange is one of the colors that I use the most, because it's almost empty. I have a few colors that I used a lot, and I do have a tube, so I'm going to put more in them. But you can notice that there are some colors that I use a lot and some colors that I don't use that much. And the browns here and the blues I don't use that much. My least used, but that's because probably I don't really do landscapes, so it's very hard for me to justify using them if I don't do landscapes. So yeah, okay. Let's try some darker blue for the blue ones. This is a dark blue. And then see how that goes, just to give it a gradient, I would say. I noticed that I have a leaf here that I didn't touch. Sometimes I put so many leaves that I don't even see them until the end. I'm like, oh yeah, I missed one. It's weird how perception doesn't necessarily work like that. Okay. And by the way, I'm using dark blue from StreamCam. If you were wondering. So, what other advices can I give you if you want to become a watercoloring artist is to have patience, to work in layers, and never give up. In the end, it took me a year till I got to this level, right? So it's not like it's not an immediate satisfaction thing that you get out of doing watercolor. Sometimes it takes time. It takes time till you practice, till you get the hang of it. And I think one thing that I would urge everybody is to think very closely what they want to learn. Do you want to learn drawing or do you want to learn watercolor? Because if you just want to learn watercolor and you want to do watercolor, then you don't need to do all these drawing things that I'm doing, right? Because I'm doing drawing in the same time learning as I'm doing watercolor. And they're not really needed. Because you have stamps, like if you look for stamping companies, there's so many stamps, there's so many cute stuff, so many stamps of flowers that you can just use and use an ink, and then you make your own, you know, design with those stamps, and then you watercolor just like me. So you don't need to, like, if you say, well, what you do is because you know how to draw, just take that out of the equation. You say, I'm not very good at drawing. That's fine, right? That's fine. You don't have to be very good at drawing. You can also be just getting into the watercolor, and that's fine. I personally wanted to learn how to do my own drawing, but I started with stamps. I started with just doing watercoloring on stamps and learning how to do that. So this is how you can get better at it. You can do shading. You can learn how to control water. You can learn without having to worry that you have to spend also some hours trying to draw, right? This can be quite a time sink, I would say. So try not to do that. Get all the help you can get just to focus on the goal that you have. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Don't look at the time. Don't do like me. Time is irrelevant when you're doing watercolor. You can always think about it, that time comes and goes, but if you are really concentrated into something, which is really nice, you might not even feel like you're spending the time here, you know? You might go like, okay, what's going on here? What am I spending my time on? I sometimes watch the clock and then realize that 4 hours have passed, 3 hours have passed, and it's sometimes amazing how you don't notice the passing of time when you're doing something fun like this, when you're doing something fun that you love. It also beats any, I would say, beats any form of meditation, because theoretically you're meditating when you're concentrating like this, right? Your meditation, what does meditation do? Quiets your mind and lets you focus on one thing. So let's break it down. Meditation, it lets you focus on one thing, and you go like, my mind is quiet, I'm focusing on my breathing, or my mind is quiet, and you know, insert random things there. It's the same thing. Right? My mind is quiet when I'm doing watercoloring because I'm focusing on this one. So instead of focusing on your breath, you're focusing on, you know, doing watercolor. It's okay. It's fine. You know? Because the surface is so tiny, I'm first adding the yellow color, and then when it dries, I'll add and I'll merge other colors, like some reds and so on, for the centers of these flowers. Why? Because the surface, the centers of these flowers are really tiny, and I don't wanna mess it up, because wet in wet on a very tiny surface is very hard. Okay? So let's do that. I really like this composition, I would say, because there's some clusters here, and then it always gets followed by these flowers here. I don't know why it brings it together. and then the leaves here just, you know, complement the whole flow, and then they're just being held together by this spider web, which is funny. Now the question is, what should I do? This one should be yellow with orange. Trust me. I will add orange afterwards. You know what these are? These are the fruits or the seeds from when the roses, you know, when the rose wilts and so on, it leaves a seed, and these are these seeds. And usually they can be red, so really bright red, but I have the leaves that are red, or they can be orangey. This is what I'm doing here. I'm trying to make that transition, so it's gonna be orangey. With lots of yellow. Okay. And now what I'm doing is I'm pulling in the color to make the highlight here. And I'm coming in with a brush that is a clean brush, damp, not with water, just damp. And I'm just picking the color up. And then you see the color underneath. This is how I do it. Okay. So let's try again. I'm adding, this is new gamboge. Maybe I'll add some hints of red here and there, or some hints of green maybe. Hints of green would be nicer. Okay. Okay. And then the transparent orange is gonna go here. And I'm gonna leave that part more yellow, right? I am pulling, I am mixing the two, but I'm gonna leave it more yellow. Yeah, I'm gonna do the other one as well. I'm actually considering these flowers to leave them with white, as in to only do a little bit of gray, because that would be such a contrast. Like these ones, we're gonna be purples and blue, purple and blue, right? Because this is how anemones are, and these ones with gray, and that will create such a contrast. Let's see. Finalize the pieces. And now, because I put paint here, I need to still put my finger in the middle to control my brush stroke, but I'm trying really hard not to touch the watercolor. It's not yet dry completely, and I don't want to make a mess. Dun dun dun. So what did my trip to Denmark teach me? Teach me that I need to step up my game onto running and doing exercise, because I feel like a lot of people are doing that. I put my finger exactly into the yellow part. Man, I'm such a hopeless person. Okay. so I will restart my running and my exercise from next week. This week I just decided to rest. It's amazing how I was not used to meeting so many people. I was not used to being in rooms with so many people, and it can be quite draining. So I needed to take some days off. So that's why you didn't see me last Wednesday, although I was at home. I didn't really do a live stream because I was really like, okay, I'm just gonna rest. I don't wanna overdo it. It's quite a your mind goes a little bit blank, so then you don't have any ideas. I wanted to do the Inktober. I had so many ideas, and then all of a sudden when I started putting them on paper, they were gone, and that is a sign that I was just too tired. So when you're too tired, my advice to you, just go and rest. Nobody's going to, it's not going to be the end of the world if you're going to go rest. It's not going to be the end of the, anything. Just the health is more important, because then we are here for the long run, not for the short time, Okay. There we go. Oh, I forgot one. Do you guys notice where I forgot one? Do you guys notice? Because I forgot one. I'm just noticing now. Because I tucked it in here really good underneath all of this. And I forgot about it. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. I'm adding this. And then we're gonna go to the flowers, and that's gonna be the most nerve-wracking part of it all. Because the flowers are very difficult to do. You have to make them transparent and nice and pretty. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I did say I wanted to add some green, so let's see if that works. In some way it works, in some way it doesn't. It's okay. We're just gonna add a little smidge of green on all of these ones. Because actually autumn is a combination of all these colors, greens, yellows. Oh yeah, I had some fun today. I want to create a reel today. Okay, Johan ask a question. Oh my god, what colors are you gonna do the flowers? Oh, I was dreading this question. Probably gonna be some really light purples and blues. What do you think? What do you think? I'll show you. It's this one, Moon Glow. And Moon Glow is this one. It's a really muted, let's see if you can see it here. It's a really muted color, really muted purple. You see this? Here on the corner, it's really muted color. What do you think about that one? Do you think that's a good idea? At least for the big ones, this one and this one. These ones, I have no clue yet. maybe blue. Okay, I'm gonna make it like super watery. Okay, let's try our luck with this one. I'm gonna start here. And I am going to pull in the color. So I wanted everything to be super light as well. I don't want them to be very dark. Man. Okay, I need to use the... I need to use my stuff. Okay, I'm pulling the colors out. I think that will look okay, right? Maybe small one white. Yes, small one white with only the shadow gray. That's what I was thinking, because these ones will be nice contrast. So this one shadows on only gray shadows a little bit, and then that should be fine. Yeah. Let's see. And the other one, Potter's Pink, probably. Oh yeah, Potter's Pink. I forgot about Potter's Pink. I forgot my favorite pink. How could I forget my favorite pink? I will add a secondary color immediately just to make it more interesting. But for now, these are my colors like this. This is Moon Glow. And Moon Glow, it's a really nice, pretty purple. And I will come with some, once things dry out a little bit, with some Opera Rose to, you know, have a bit of variation. Okay. So, what do you guys think about Moon Glow? Why would they call it Moon Glow? That's the question, because is it really Moon Glow? I mean, the moon is mostly gray. Okay, this is kind of a grayish purple in a way. I'm going to utilize, so the biggest weapon another color artist has is the tissue paper, because you can pick up color while it still hasn't absorbed inside. So that is your biggest weapon. Don't forget about it. Always have tissue paper next to you to be able to do this. Always. Sometimes I'm thinking I'm liking more the black and white than I'm liking the colored versions. I don't know why. The line art. And I'm gonna add white dots, you know, in the end, and just gonna brighten them up. But we're gonna do the two biggest ones with this one, and then the other one with some blue, and then we're just gonna add shadows for the rest, and that's gonna be fun. Okay. Okay, to give them some shadow, yeah. Give them some shadow, yeah. We'll give them some shadow. Notice that I'm leaving some portions white here because I don't want to have the entire flower be this color. I'm just going to do only the petals a little bit like this, and then I'm going to, as in these flowers needs to be super delicate because I made the leaves like super stand out, so you don't necessarily want to have it both the flowers and the leaves to be basically competing with each other. So either you make the flowers really bright and colorful, or you make the leaves, but don't try to do both. If you're wondering why did I say that I'm going to add some pink in it or some red to change a little bit the color, in theory moon glow is made out of two colors, and you can see that it separates sometimes into purple and red, especially now. So moon glow is made anyway of two colors. So the reason why I wanted to strengthen one of the colors that moon glow is actually made of. So that's all. But we have to wait for it to dry out, okay? Okay, and I'm gonna use the same one because I still have on my palette the moon glow, but it's really watered down moon glow. I'm gonna use it to do some shadows here. That's it. I'm not even not gonna yeah, that's it. I'm gonna do the same for the other one. So majority of the flower is white, just some shadows are different color where the petals are meeting with each other. That's it. Okay, that's it. So the rest of the paper I leave white. Notice how much white I'm leaving, and they look really pretty, right? Bear with me, there's more layers coming on this one so that they are able to stand out against the whole thing. Let's do the ones above there. Okay. I'm being very careful. I can overpower these flowers very easily. Okay. The last one, the last tiny one. Okay, that should be enough. Now, where did I say? I said that I wanted to, and now I'm considering whether I should do. Let's try. Permanent rose. Let's see how that goes. Trying to blend it so I don't lose the underlying color. So then I will use also. Yep, like that. Okay, this we're gonna have to go very careful, very careful. This is a very overpowering color. Even if I put, I'm having a number 2 brush and I'm putting really small bits of color here, it can be very overpowering. Okay, so I have to be very careful what I do and how I do it. And that's why it's very important that you have, guess what? What did I say that we need to have always? Your tissue paper. That's very important. Yep. Because without it, then you get hard edges and you get weird color combinations and so on, right? So, number 1. Does not look like you lost your coloring touch. No, but that's the problem, right? I started with the leaves, and that was the good decision, because the leaves are simpler and then you get your hang in it. If you don't start with something simple, then you'll be like lost. Okay. One way to blend this is to pull towards the color instead of out. Okay. This is a really nice gradient. So what I'm using is permanent magenta and on top of the moon glow, and that makes it a totally different color, right? So it's looking really nice. I'm putting really only a little bit because it's so overpowering. Permanent magenta, it's like the strongest color there is in the history of colors, even the slightest bit. And by the way, because it's magenta, it's staining, so you know the problem with it is very hard to lift once you made a mistake. So you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful how much you put in there. So there's something that I learned only later on in my watercolor journey. I wish I knew before, right? That there's this staining colors, and because I thought that, you know, every color can be lifted, every color can be nicely blended, but there are some colors that are not so easily blendable, and those colors are very staining. I mean, even the ones that are not transparent, let's take New Gumboge, it's not transparent. Not transparent is okay, as in not transparent is better than the ones that are staining, because those ones are gonna be very difficult. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do the same for this flower. I'm gonna add tiny bits of the permanent magenta just to change the shade, because otherwise the flower is very dull, and we don't want dull flowers, man. We want pretty flowers. Okay, tap tap tap, tap tap tap. There's another style of watercolor where you make the shadows really harsh. I don't particularly am into that style. I don't particularly like it, but there could be. So then you don't have to worry that much about, you know, doing this. Yeah. But I really like anemones. Anemones and peonies are some of my favorite flowers. And because they are in such a even in real world, they have such a variety of colors. You can do any colors imaginable, and it's still gonna be a peony, and it's still gonna be an anemone, because you know, in real life they have so many colors. So I'm gonna say that I really like these flowers for their versatility. Okay, cool. I haven't decided what the berries are gonna be like. I'm thinking I added enough reds and stuff that maybe, just maybe, we should do them with some blues. What do you guys think? I'm using now the Potter's Pink for the other one. It's gonna be a very similar color, but much more on the red side of things. So Potter's Pink is also one of my favorite colors ever. I believe, I don't know who invented it, but I believe they done a awesome job making this color reality. And it's the color of clay, that's why it's probably called Potter's Pink, because it's the color of clay, or the pink clay. Not every clay is like that, but it's such a nice color, to be honest. Notice I'm trying really hard to leave some whites, because I don't want to overpower the flower. I think flowers have some transparency into their petals. Oh yeah, maybe I'll do some sunflowers, and then I'll give you some sunflower effects, because the sunflower effects are really funny. It's autumn, right? So autumn is a lot of sunflowers, or is not sunflowers anymore? Or is it autumn the time when the sunflowers die? I don't even know. I don't know why I thought of sunflowers. I thought of sunflowers for a reason, probably. I still believe sunflowers are still autumn flowers. I will do a secondary color also for the Potter's Pink, and I'll try to do the same as I did on the other flowers, okay? But in the meantime, somebody please tell me, what do you think the berries should look like? Should they be blue? Should we bring some more blue into the mix because we have two less blue? We only have the leaves blue technically, so it doesn't give us much blue. That will give a nice contrast. Uh-oh. Always have a tissue paper. See what happens? I am doing water. Okay. Okay, and now I'm gonna use this. It's called Perlin Violet, and that's gonna be a really nice color to add a extra touch on these flowers. Again, Perlin Violet, really overpowering color, so try not to use too much, or else. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you guys something funny. I was doing some reels today, and it's the first time I noticed that reels are only like 15 seconds. And I was like realizing, like, how will I do a reel, a 15-second one, when majority of my watercolor painting takes hours? Potter's Pink original made by an unknown pottery maker for his or her glazing in the 18th century. Wow. So it's a really old color, but it's really nice, really pretty, I would say. No. Again, don't know why I'm doing this. I am making a mess. Although this is a number 2 brush, it still holds a lot of water in it. I'm actually considering whether I should have added some yellow. I will add the yellow in the middle anyway. Potter's Pink really goes well with yellow. Ask me how I know, because I know. It's one of my favorite crystal combination to do Potter's Pink with some yellow. It's really nice. Maybe I'll try it. Let's see if I add some new gamboge here and there. That make it nicer. Just a smidge of color. I'm not trying to add too much. I just wanted to see the combination would be nice. And anyway, I should do the middle with yellow as well. Okay, this actually looks nice. Perfect. Okay. Notice something very glaring that I didn't do, right? I didn't do the flowers here in the video because I forgot about them. It is so funny how I only noticed them now. Okay. I'm adding as much water as possible to dilute this color. Okay. Stop it. Okay. And now, I think I needed a little bit of brown because I said that I will deepen the color here once the yellow happens to dry out, and I'll make a nice brown top. Oh. And the brown I'm using is burnt umber. I think when I'm gonna go into more landscapes, I'm gonna use a little bit more browns. But for now, for flowers, you don't really need that many browns. Although, what you can do, if you have purple and brown, and if you add brown to the purple, it's gonna make the purple really pop. It's gonna make it really nice. Just saying. I think I've decided that this one should be bluish. So Let's add some blue. Not all of them the same blue, but some of them will be blue. And the first blue that I'm using is Cobalt Turquoise. It's a really nice. It's a really nice blue. It's more of a blue-green. So makes them a little bit stand out because there's lots of reds and yellows and everything here. I feel like it needed a little bit more on the blue side. And what's nicer than a Cobalt Turquoise? Nothing is nicer than Cobalt Turquoise. Cobalt Turquoise is the nicest blue there is. And that is final. You guys cannot convince me otherwise. Okay. By the way, I'm going to add lots of details on this one. So I'm gonna add dots and all sorts of stuff. So don't worry. This is the last thing that we need to do. This is the moth, and the moth is going to be interesting to decide. Okay, maybe I'll do cerulean or cobalt blue. Cobalt blue. Let's do some cobalt blue. I haven't used cobalt blue in so long. I'm even wondering how it looks like anymore. But I think it's gonna be a really nice blue. It's gonna pop off the page, to be honest. That's what it's gonna do. Everybody's gonna go like, what? And these are really tiny circles. You have to really be careful what you do, because that's why I'm using a number 2 brush. Okay, good. Cobalt blue. Cobalt blue is nice. Cobalt blue is approved. Of course, normally berries would have some purple in there as well. So maybe once they dry, maybe we'll add a slight bit of purple so that we tie all the colors together, right? That's the thing. But the reason why I'm not doing it why I'm doing this now, is because it's still pretty much a small surface. So when you do a small surface and you try to get a gradient, it's not gonna work. So that's the tip I'm giving everybody. But I'm going to come in with purple, with dark purple, and it's gonna change the color. It's not gonna make it so bright, neony. Although now it looks like, why did you do that, Claudia? Why did you add this bright color? So you're gonna see it. Okay. So far so good. This looks really nice. I'm loving it. I almost want the moth here, these ones, to be kind of a similar color as the leaf here, like super red and purple at the end, and then these ones to be more darker, more like ivory black maybe. I don't know what you guys think. I haven't decided on the moth yet. I would say or it could be gray and then dark color. I don't know. This is difficult. Okay. What could be red, brown? Okay, yes, red and brown. Yes, that's true. True. That is a good color choice. Let's see how we can do that. Okay. I'm adding the centers here. I don't mind. That one I'll come with white gel pen and I'll do it. White gel pen to the rescue, that's how I call it. Okay. Now I'm realizing that I made a mod. The wing's a bit weird because this wing should have been underneath the other wing, not this way around. Okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We will do it. Okay. Yeah. Why do I keep dripping water on all of this? Okay. Alizarin crimson, and then we're gonna go with burnt umber. Let's see how that goes. The two mix each other very well, I would say. I need more burnt umber. Yep. Let's add some more red. This alizarin crimson is really velvety. Don't know if you notice how velvety this color is. But it's really velvety. Okay. Trying to mix the two and see if they mix. Okay. And by the way, the upper part is gonna be more like real brown. Only the down part is gonna be red and brown. So let's see. This moth is really gonna stand out. Yeah. It's gonna be a moth. I'm gonna add, of course, dots and whites and stuff on it once it dries, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Okay, burnt umber again. I need to be very careful because I'm going around the white bloom. So this is gonna be And now we have to mix the two together. And I'll probably have to come with more red to mix on the other side. More red. Yeah. This is gonna be really nice color, luscious color, man. It's gonna dry out really nice. In the other part of the mat, it's gonna be more darker brown. Let's see. Let's see if I use burnt sienna, burnt amber. Burnt sienna is a reddish brown. It's really nice. And then it's gonna go into a dark brown there. That's gonna make it really nice. If you wonder what I'm doing here, I accidentally went over the line. I hate it when I go over the line. This is gonna be the coolest mod ever. Of course, it's gonna have lots of veins and stuff, and it's gonna be using lots of the white gel pen. But now the colors look really bright on it, and that's normal because they're wet. When it's gonna dry, it's gonna look totally different. So trust me on this. While it's still wet, I can kind of go with water and do some lines. Notice how, because it's still wet and I go in, I can make lines. I can pull the color off. And this is what's nice about watercolor. Uh-oh. Okay. So there's some more brown here. Added too much brown. It's gonna be okay. Okay, so where were we? Burnt sienna. Burnt sienna. By the way, burnt sienna is really opaque, so that's gonna be interesting. Burnt amber is a little bit more transparent, so yeah. Cool. It's gonna look pretty nice when it's gonna be dried. And now you don't necessarily see all of that, but when it's gonna dry, especially now since I'm pulling some veins over, that's gonna look really nice. Now I'm gonna pull again. Okay. Pull. I don't even know if you can see all the details that I'm seeing on the paper. I'm seeing them. It's okay. And if you're wondering the body, I'm just going to use this buff titanium. Okay. And the body is going to be really like yellowish gray. It's going to be fine. It doesn't have to distract from the mod itself. Yeah. Okay, cool. Of course we're gonna add details and we're gonna do stuff. What did I say? While this is drying, I said we're gonna add purple to things. And let's use this Dioxin purple here since we have it on our palette. Sometimes I put too much water on my brush. Although it's a number 2 brush, it's weird, I know, that it can still hold so much water. It's sometimes unnerving. Okay, now it looks more cohesive, right? Because that cobalt blue wasn't really part of this whole palette. But now that we added the purple on top of it, it makes it look like it's part of the whole idea, you know? So nice. And I think we're gonna add things and dots and stuff. Maybe even with gold. Ooh, gold. I would ask myself how I would do it. Okay, so more Dioxin purple. I think I have these ones here. Okay. Yeah, Dioxin purple. Okay. This looks amazing. Okay, while that one dries, I'm going to pick up my white gel pen and my black one. And I have them in my pouch here. And we're going to add different things to it. Let me see. I have my white gel pen. I have my white gouache here. That's interesting. And then I'm gonna have this one. So for these ones, I'm just gonna add black dots because it is a little bit. It would be like you would add hatching, right? You would need to add hatching everywhere just to make the shadows nice. This is what I do with the dots. So this is my way of hatching. You can do it how you want it. You can add also hatching lines, but I don't particularly enjoy those. So I'm just adding black dots. Black dots everywhere. Makes them stand out. Okay, that's nice. Okay. So now white gel pen, especially for the stamens of these flowers. I think it's important to have some white ones. Just tiny dots. Just adding. Sorry if my sound all of a sudden, my microphone went up and I didn't realize I was speaking right into the microphone. So if you got too loud, my apologies. I didn't realize where my microphone was at. Okay, it's good. A little bit more black dots here. I really like the contrast to these flowers that are mostly like only shadows and white. It's really nice. Okay, then And we're gonna add, guess what, some highlights on to these ones, and highlights on these ones. This one's being so tiny, it's very hard to get highlights in, right? And then some white dots here and there, only on the red leaves, because the other ones don't need. Okay, we're almost at the finish line, right? We only have to do this one. So let's see, did it get dry enough? I think so. I think no, it's not yet dry. So it's not yet dry, so I don't dare to add anything. But what I wanted to add is I want to add some dots at the ends here, and then some tiny veins all around here on that one. Let me try the middle one, maybe a moon. Notice that it's not dry yet. Yeah. Okay, cool. When it's gonna dry, I'm gonna add my dots and everything, but right now it's not yet. But I think I've done it. If you want to see the final one with all the details, watch on my Instagram, and that's where I'm going to post this one. It's gonna be super nice. I'm really proud of it. I'm really nice. The combination of the colors are really, really awesome. Thank you so much for watching. 1.5 hours or 1 hour and 41 minutes. Wow, that's a lot of minutes. But I'm liking this, and I'm liking the autumn colors and like the really bright things. So anyway, see you next time, and you know, let me know what you think in the comments.